we're putting out our new menu. We made some changes on the explanation of things, and we made changes on the prices. Okay? I'd like to start with the top of the menu where it says all our pizzas are well done from our 800-degree coal-fired ovens. I think that might help a little bit of the explanation of, you don't have some of the things I need out of here. I looked at yours. Yeah, I'll show you when I'm going to go through it. You guys know what? What are you looking at? It's the menu.
Go with the big page, everybody.
Yeah, the menu.
We're on this one right here.
The food menu. I'm sorry. You're right. Food menu. Okay, at the top of the page it says 800-degree coal-fired ovens. I'm hoping that kind of explains the reason why our pizzas come out a little bit on the well-done side. So I'm hoping that kind of fixes the problem. So, but at the same time, you know, some people don't read everything on the damn menu. But right underneath it, we added "Pizza's so good it should be illegal." That was our slogan in the very beginning. So that's the reason why we added it on the top of the menu. Okay? As we work down to the salads, if you notice, the baby spinach salad was changed to $10.95, and the Mediterranean was changed to $11.95. So those went up $1. If you go down into the dressings, it used to say balsamic glaze as a dressing. We never use balsamic glaze as a dressing per se. We use it like as like topping off a salad or the caprese salad.
Sauce.
Right. So we took that out. Okay. If you move over to the right-hand side of the page on the antibas, it's $12.95. So that went up $1. If you move down towards the bruschetta, we put down served on a crostini, because we used to have served on ciabatta bread. It is ciabatta bread, but it's also a crostini. We thought that would be a little bit better, showing that it's toasted. Crostini means we drizzle it with olive oil and we toast the bread. Okay. Further down from the bruschetta, we have our coal-fired wings. Now, as you guys can see, we changed the sizes of the. You guys listen? We changed the sizes. We have a 6-piece now for $6.95. We have an 8-piece for $8.95, a 12-piece for $12.95, and a 20-piece for $18.95. I think that should kind of help things, because some people want a little bit more, some people want a little bit less, so I think we're kind of covering all the bases with the wings. Okay? Just below that, we used to have, as you can see it there, was panino. People thought they were getting a panini. They're not. Panino means sandwich in Italian. So to get rid of that confusion, we put coal-fired sandwiches. We just thought it would be a little bit easier to say coal-fired sandwiches. I think that kind of helps that problem a little bit. And just underneath that, we have all our sandwiches are served on the artisan bread with a side of Capone's pasta salad. We changed the pasta salad dressing to a vinaigrette. Me and Lance, we put the whole thing together. That's what they're going to start doing now, starting today, is making the vinaigrette with the pasta salad. We used to use the house salad dressing. It didn't match with the pasta. And we also use a tri-colored pasta. It's a little bit different, it's more colorful, and it looks better in the dish. Plus, our Rotini dye wasn't making the pastas perfect. They were kind of looking kind of raggedy. So they kind of look uniform now, okay? If you go down to homemade pasta, it says made fresh daily. We make our pasta fresh, and we show it, but at the same time, it was never on the menu. We just thought it would be easier to say, to let people know that we make our pasta fresh. It's something very important. I mean, not many places make their pasta in-house, I gotta say. And I've been in this business for a while. So this is a good push, if you guys wanna push that. The rigatoni alla vodka, just underneath that, the rigatoni alla vodka went up $1 to $12.95. If you move over to the right, we have the fettuccine alfredo. That went up $1 to $12.95. And the pasta marinara with meatballs is $11.95. So those prices were changed. If you look, go down to the specialty pizzas. We have new prices now for the 9-inch pizza. We have a whole column for it now. So that should explain everything to these people, okay? As you can see, the price is going down. But we did change the margarita to $12.95. We changed the Italiano to $14.95. We changed the Tommy Gun to $15.95. We changed the Polo Barbecue to $12.95, and the 16-inch went to $16.95. The Quattro Formaggio, it just there, we added the 9-inch on that side, we added the 9-inch on the Mobster White, and then the Carne went to $15.95, and the 16 went to $19.95. The Vegetariano went to $12.95, and the 16 went to $16.95. So those prices all went up $1 too. On the left side at the Gabaretto, we used to say fresh Gulf shrimp. We took it out. We don't have fresh Gulf shrimp, okay? We don't want to advertise we have frozen shrimp, but we just say shrimp, okay? Just underneath, we finally have a nice little section for our new gluten-free crust. We have the 9-inch and we have the 12. You guys don't have to worry about explaining to people when the pizza comes out, it was a 10-inch. So it was like, okay, am I getting a 12? It looks like a 9. You just don't have to worry about that no more. It is a 9 and it's a 12, okay? On the calzones, we now do a 9-inch calzone all day. It's good because I tell you why. Instead of somebody getting the large and splitting it, they're both gonna buy 9s, it's more money. It works out better this way. Maybe a little bit more work for the guys, but it doesn't matter because I think either way, whether you make it a 9 or a 12, it doesn't matter, okay? And we also priced it out. On the right side, you have the toppings. We added, for the 9-inch, we added $1.45 each for each topping. We changed the 12-inch to $2.45 instead of the $2.25. Okay, so there was a little bit of change on the toppings for the premium toppings, that is. If you go down to the traditional, we added the 9-inch, 95 cents. Okay, so that kind of explains for the 9-inch topping. A little further down the page, we went to roasted garlic. So that's a new topping, okay? So we went through the changes. That's pretty much everything. I just want to talk about just a couple of little things. This meeting was not for me to beat you up or anything. I just want to talk about 2 things that you guys have been doing since we had our last meeting. That's coming in late and not being in full uniform by 11 o'clock. I can't deal with that. I can't have you in the bathroom, putting your makeup on and getting dressed at 10 after 11 when I have people coming through the door. We really have to be ready when it starts at 11 o'clock, please. And and if you don't have the time, come earlier. You just want something to eat. I got no problem with that. Go to the store, get yourself something to eat, come back, sit down, eat, relax a few minutes, punch in, and then do what you have to do. But please do those things for me. I really would appreciate it. And one more thing I wanted to add. I've had a couple of customers come up to me saying that you guys are coming out of the bathroom without washing your hands. Probably because you're in a handicap stall, they don't know there's a sink in there. I would suggest, like I did in the last meeting, please wash your hands in front of the customers. That is the only way they're going to see you walk out that door washing your hands. Because I've had a few people tell me, you know, that girl just came out of the bathroom and she didn't wash her hands. I go, was she in the handicap stall? She goes, I really don't know, probably. Just do me a favor. It just looks better if you wash your hands in front of the customers. That's all I'm asking. Okay, people see that stuff, and so do I, and I'm sure you guys do too. Wash your hands in front of the customers. I talked to Daniel. I know people might bring up questions about our price changes. Basically, he told me to say that, you know, our food costs went up. That's fine to say that, if that's what he wants. I agree with it. But if it becomes a situation, please get a manager. Don't discuss it. Don't explain anything to them. Keep it short And if it becomes more than that, just come and get me or Lance and Kenny, and we'll kind of explain it to them. But prices do go up, and in order for a business to make money, we have to raise it. It just shit goes downhill. We have to kind of add the prices to our menu too. Okay. We are leaving the drink and the dessert menu on the outside of the table from now on.
Inside the restaurant.
Oh, inside the restaurant, right. Because me and Lance were saying it'll be blowing all over the freaking place out there. So inside the restaurant, it's going on the outside of the pizza stand. Okay? This way it's easy for them to get if the pizza tray is on top, they can't reach it. And maybe they might look at it while they're eating their pizza, getting ready to order a dessert. Which Lance will touch base with you on that. And I just want to say we're still doing great. We're number 8 on TripAdvisor. Keep pushing TripAdvisor, please. That's the only way our number is going to go down. It's the only way. We have to push it, obviously, if they have a great experience. If they're not having a good experience, we're not going to push them to go on TripAdvisor. All right? I think I covered everything I wanted to say. Please be on time, be in full uniform. All right? Lance, I'm done. That's all you're done.
Switch over to the second page. The Capone's cocktail, start off there.
Oh, Lance, I didn't say one thing. I'm sorry, one thing. We are not putting, this is what the inside boards are going to look like. We are not putting toppings on the bottom. They took them out. Okay, but it's going to look like a big chalkboard. And it still will have coal-fired, 800 degree, well done on our pizzas on the top. Okay? Sorry, Lance. Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't fit it in last night. The wrong size. They did the wrong dimensions. All right, Capone's cocktails, real quick. Just everybody's got the highlighted one here, so you can all see the new items that we put on and some of the changes. The Capone's Classic Martini, the Espresso Tini, we changed that from the Espresso Martini, so it's kind of just a little name change there. We added the House Merlot to the menu. We took off the Bareboat. The Line 39 was never actually on the menu, so you don't have to explain now. We only have 2 Pinot Noirs, not 3. You'll see some of the price changes that we have over here. We went from $6 to $8 on the Five Rivers. The bottle cost was $21. We went to $32. On the rest of these, the glasses pretty much all stay the same price, except for the Liberty School went up actually went down $1. And you can look at all the bottle price changes. Went from the Merlot went from 24. I'm sorry, went from 21.06. What we had that? 21. Oh, just bad name already. To 24. And so and so and so and so and so and so. We also took the Stephen Vincent Pinot Noir off the menu. So we still have a whole bunch of it, about 15 bottles. So we're gonna probably do that for some kind of a special or something, just to blow it out. Over on the right side, as far as draft goes, we're 86 in the Angry Orchard, which we are out of. We're going to be adding hopefully today, the Fort Myers Brewing Capone's Red Ale. That's a local beer. In the bottle category, we 86 the Magic Hat, the Bell's Oberon, the Brooklyn Pennant, which was on the menu, but we haven't had since we've opened. Goose Island, the 312, and the New Belgian Fat Tire. Basically, those are all our slowest movers on the, some people like them, sure, but if they don't sell, there's no sense in just keeping it in inventory. We're buying that stuff like a case a month if we're lucky. We added the Strongbow, which is an English cider. Is anybody here not familiar with Strongbow?
I'm not.
All right.
Tell me about it.
We'll crack open a bottle and we'll experience the Strongbow. And the Not Your Father's Root Beer. On the white wines, you can see just some of the price changes. I believe all the items are exactly the same. We didn't change any bottles around there. We just modified all your prices so you can see all the price changes there. And down below, you're going to see the new happy hour listing at the very bottom of the menu. So it's actually printed on the menu now. All right. Switch over to the table tent menu, which is the smaller one. This one right here. This is the front and back of the 2 table tents. Everybody got that? Now, of course, our dessert menus are only printed on this. So if we just look at the coffee espresso side real fast. You'll notice all the little highlighted stuff and changed stuff. Just look over those. The espresso tini. We 86 the 6th grade port wine also. So we're gonna do away with the port wine. Yes, Natalia?
Are we gonna do the bottle and stuff now?
For meals, he's the only one that wants it in.
No, once it's gone, it's gone.
He's screwed.
I'm probably just gonna give the bottle to Mills to take home. Just get it out of here. The cannoli went down $1. The chocolate mousse went down $1. The cheesecake went down $1. And we did away with the pizza cookie and added the mixed emotions on that one. We added the new limoncello cake, which
Because it takes too long.
Niels did say though, he wants to know the feedback. If we're getting a lot of negativity on it, like, you know, why don't you have it? Let us know. And then me and Lance will talk about
well, the reality is we're not going to just do away with it overnight. We'll still have the product in-house available for at least a couple of weeks.
it. Right, until we run out.
That being said, you know, it's going to phase itself out though. The pizza cookie is really designed for a restaurant that has a gas-powered oven.
Normal.
It has a consistent temperature
In
that you
parking
can.
lot.
Yeah, here our temperatures fluctuate anywhere from 600 to 1,000 degrees. So we just can't get it right.
When everybody bakes cake at home, what is it, 375, 325, 350? That's why we have a problem.
Alrighty. That's it on all the menu changes. Everybody grab your steps to service real fast.
Do me a favor, please pay attention to this. Lance implemented it down at the lodge. It works really good, and it might help you make a few more bucks and give better service to the customers. So pay attention to this, please.
Well, here's the thing real quick. A lot of you guys experience servers and practice at your routine. I'm not trying to trip it up at all. What I want you to do is to wait tables that you're comfortable in a procedure that you're
What do you
comfortable
need?
doing.
What do you want? I'll get it.
But that being said, there's some points of confusion as far as, well, I do it this way because, or I do it that way because, and whatnot.
Anybody need one?
Leslie, you got one?
I got it. You got one?
That being said, this is a basic overview of what we would like, from all of you, but add your own flavor and your own style and your own flair to your style of service. I wouldn't want to turn you into robots. That's the worst thing we can do in a company. All right? But what I'm looking at is just for people that don't have the steps down, or understand what the steps are. And these are pretty standard in most industry restaurants. All right? So just run them down real quick. Starting with the first step, greet your guests. And if you just, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but basically what I did was I provided you with a little bit of, what to say. If you don't know what to say, if you're new at this, or if you're not really sure what you should have been saying, this is kind of a good thing. But if you've already got your own opening skills, we prefer you stick with that if they work well for you. All right. One of the things that I do see missed a lot is the flagging of the table, though. So when you are greeting your table, and in mind you, within 30 seconds is the ideal timing, always flag the table with your bed naps. For two reasons. One, it lets the other servers know that you've been there, but more importantly, it lets the managers know that you've been there. So when I walk by a table and I see them sitting there, I know that they've been sat, 5-6 minutes ago, and I don't see anything in front of them. I'm drinking on bed nap. I go into panic. So we just flag the tables for that reason. I know for the patio, we used to use toasters, so we got to get back to that because bed naps fly all over the place. So, also, Ken wanted to put in for any of the guests that are new here, like if it's their first timers. I didn't know this, but you've already been doing it. Let a manager know that when we have first time customers, so that we can make sure that we definitely stop by. We should be stopping by all tables, but especially those ones. Two, take the drink order. Now, on the take a drink order, I put some stuff in here as far as, the correct way to take a drink order. And, at the bottom of this little paragraph right here, it's really important to always have an upsell ready in mind. So in other words, if I say I'd like a gin and tonic, and he's going to say, wait, pull through. Ehab's going to say,
What kind of gym would you like?
perfect, what kind of gin would I like? Right? All right. If I order a Chardonnay, Ehab's going to come back and say, would you like that? And yes, All right. A lot of times people will send back their house wine just because it's, not to know. I always let them know that it's at this point, and if they're unsure of it, sometimes do a little sip and then throw out a glass.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, if you get somebody that's
Yeah.
gonna literally try every single red wine, I'm gonna tell you, no, you can try 2 or 3, but I'm
Well,
not
I
gonna have
had
you try.
people in the middle of rush that wanted, taste test, and only bring up 4, 5, 6 different wines.
Best bet is grab a manager. We have nothing to do. We're literally, at your disposal for those types of situations. I could walk over to the table with 3 or 4 bottles.
Yeah.
Try them out.
Yeah, well, we
You know?
yeah, we-
Exactly. Get a manager. Ken and I and Bill, we all be happy to do that for you. All right. 3. Deliver your drinks. All right. So, and this is a really big one for me because I see this time and time again. If you are having a problem getting your drinks from the bar, I'm not saying that you do, but if you do, remember getting drinks to your tables and on a timely fashion is very, very critical. Okay. There's something about alcohol drinkers. They like to have their at moves now. Whether it's like that. How like we need caffeine. They're like that with their alcohol. You got to get them their alcohol, especially when they see other people drinking it. Makes them more edgy. So don't hesitate. And I'll say this 100 times over. Bring them the alcohol before you bring them the sodas if you have to. Okay. I see you over there pouring waters, and I got your beer sitting here. I'll take the beers now. Get them their boots. That's really important. And if you are having any problems in the bars, backed up or whatnot, always come and get a manager. We're there to help. We all know how to pour drinks. All right. And always mention the name of the drink as you put it down. Because God forbid you mix it up and then we gotta throw them out. Start over. 4. Suggest an appetizer, and 5. Take your food order. So again, I don't want to read the detailed paragraph here; it's quite long. But just through your steps of service, if you already have your own methods of doing things, that's great. But just read this anyway because this might have some ideas that you were like, oh, that's great. Actually, 6. Deliver the food. You guys have food runners here, but a lot of times you guys run your own food to help everybody else. So that's that. 7. The 2-bite check. 2-bite check is very important. It's, don't wait until they're down to their last slice before you found out that you never took the peppers off the pizza. 2-bite check is basically after a couple bites, go back and say, is everything good, everything perfect? Now managers will walk around and do the same thing, but it doesn't hurt for you to do it as well because they're your tables and it shows that you care. A lot of times you go out to eat, someone else will drop your food off, and you don't see your server until you need a refill on your drink. By then it's like you've kind of already lost the whole concept of having that relationship with your guests. And this store, unlike a lot of other stores, has the ability for you to actually talk to your guests. And that's what makes people really like us, and that's why we're doing really well on TripAdvisor. It's because of that interaction that we have with our people. So remember that 2-bite check is very important because it does give you that opportunity. It forces you into that approaching the table and talking to them, as well. All right. Number 7, which we already just did. 8. Take the dessert, the coffee, and tea order. All right. Also, on the 2-bite check. Sorry. Number 8. Take the dessert and tea. All right. If you read the section number 7, one of the things we would like you to try to do, which probably don't do, and it might seem a little bit strange when I say this, is during their meal, while they're eating, is a good time to start suggesting the desserts. Okay? Some people like to wait until they're done eating before they go and say, oh, did you save room for dessert? At that point, it's kind of already a decision that they've already made. But if you suggest the desserts while they're eating, a lot of times it puts them in their head, and they might actually eat a little less, take it home, and then get that dessert order. In some cases, you can actually get the dessert order while they're eating. Say, if you'd like, I can get that in, and by the time you're done eating, it'll be ready. So they don't have to wait 7, 8 minutes, 15 minutes, 25 minutes on a pizza cookie if we had that still to get the dessert. You know what I mean? And then there goes your flipping that table. You know what I mean? You can actually get that 3rd course in right on time. That was kind of a Neil suggestion. We started doing it at the lodge, and it actually worked out good. Our dessert sales went way up. So for those of you that do have a difficult time selling desserts, this is a good opportunity to kind of get that. And then again, step 8, is that if you were unsuccessful in selling dessert during the meal, now's your second chance. Offer that, tuwaka, offer that upsell for the drink. You can do a lot of little things at the end as well. All right, 9, clear the table and drop the bill. The bussers are always complaining that servers don't pre-bus well enough, and in a lot of cases that's true, but it's not just for the bussers' benefit, it's also for the guests. We use this thing call manicuring the table. Now, manicuring is basically what do you do? You trying to get a manicure, it makes them look pretty, you clean them up. Same thing with the table, think of that as it needs to be manicured. When it comes time to clear the table, don't just take the plates, take the napkins as well. Get all the trash off the table as well. And if they need it, if they're gonna have dessert, bring some fresh silverware. Let them eat with some fresh cutlery. It's a nice thing. But if they're just gonna pay their bill, they're not gonna want to sign their check. Trying to find a corner place because the table's completely full of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of gives them that impression that you care about them right up to the bitter end. 10. Thank your guests before they leave. Obviously, if they don't leave, here comes in step 11. And a lot of places just follow the 10 steps of service. I added in the 11 because I see this time and time again, and it's kind of a forgotten step. Is after a guest pays, it doesn't mean that they're just done. We're done with them. Oh, they already paid. I'm back home. Make sure that they don't actually need anything else, because a lot of times they will change their mind, decide that they might want a coffee because they've actually extended their conversation. Neither one of them wants to go home to their spouses. They want to continue that, and you never know. You might be able to just take care of them. They're going to take the table. You might as well try to make it safe. Until they leave the property, they are still your guests. All right. Any questions about these? Do me a favor, they're only 3 pages, just read it. Alright? That's all I ask. Oh, there will be a test. All these copies you got real fast before I cut you loose were the large copies and then the miniatures. You all got a copy of the to-go menu as well, front and back. Alright? So you can see all the changes. Really important that this menu change goes real smoothly. All right. By the way, I'm videotaping this. I'll put it up on YouTube for anybody that wasn't here. Yep. All right. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. Those of you that are here,
Yo, let me say something real quick.
go ahead and clock in.
No, we have to.
Of course, I got something to say. Oh wait,
Yeah,
wake up. So let's just keep in mind that Bart does not get tipped out. Excuse me for my technical. Bart does not get. Too early for the shit. Bart does not get tipped out for any cappuccinos, espressos, or espresso teenies. They have a tip jar in the back, but we are more than welcome to drop off a little